Okay, so I have some important guests with me today. Before we get into the main topic for today, I have some very important people here today, and they are going to talk a little bit about World Toilet Day. So, John and Malik, welcome to the show. So I'm just going to leave it open. Tell us what this is all about.
Okay, 19th November is World Toilet Day. This is a day set aside by the UN to remind everybody of the need to have decent toilets. So as part of the activities to mark the event, we've rolled out specific targeted events to remind everybody that we are part of the problem and so we should be part of the solution. So there's going to be a cycling from Tema Lighthouse to Jamestown Lighthouse. Before that, there's going to be a walk from that same lighthouse to Jamestown Lighthouse. After the walk, we want to declare that place a protected area so that people will stop using it as a source of open defecation and throwing refuse there. We can turn that into a resort, and then it will rather generate revenue from us. And
is it that you can turn it into a resort, or it's actually going to be done?
Well,
what do you plan to?
No, we're using the cycling and the walk to now raise awareness for it to be turned. If we say we are going to turn it, then we are going to be like the normal politicians who are giving their. So we're using this is our first method to get the message across. After, then we start doing taking the necessary steps to turn it into a protected area for it to be useful and beneficial to us. Yeah.
Okay. So John, tell me what brought up this? What inspired you to do this?
Well, let me explain first of all that I'm from the United States, and I'm a member of a group called the Association of Spouses of Heads of Mission, and that's pretty self-explanatory. We're a group of 30 or 35 people. Our spouses are either ambassadors, high commissioners, or the heads of various UN agencies. So we do a lot of charitable work. We also have a group within our group that's very interested in environmental issues. And we've taken part in a number of environmental programs. We had an education program back in April centered on Earth Day for school children. We've done a tree planting in Jamestown at the YOLO cluster of schools back in June, I believe it was. And we've also worked with Malik on some projects too, and we support his efforts to publicize World Toilet Day. I lived here 20 years ago, actually. We were here. We lived here for 4 years. And we came back in December of last year, so it's been almost a year. And people obviously always ask me, what are the changes you see in Ghana? And I have to say there's the good and the bad. Ghana is much more developed economically than it was at that time. A lot of new construction, I think a more prosperous middle class. But on the other side, I see the increased pollution, particularly plastics. Ghana or Accra seems to be swallowed in plastic.
Plastics,
So it's something that we're very cognizant of, and we're here only for a short time, a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. But I think we all realize that we have an impact on the environment, even though we're only here for a short time. So we need to do what we can to contribute to the solution and clean it up as well.
All right. Okay. So apart from the, you were mentioning the activities you planned. That's all for the week.
No. This is just a teaser. Actually, we want to use this as a teaser to let everybody know that we can actually make Ghana what it is by being part of the solution. So the cycling and the walk is tedious. And we're taking a cue from His Excellency Ian Walker, who did a 10-day cycling from Tumu to Accra. So now the cycling, we are journeying toward the incoming or aspiring assemblymen, that if a foreigner has been able to do cycling all the way from the north to the south, then they should take a coup and then support this cycling from Tema to Jamestown, so that when they win, we can all join hands and turn the coast, that coast stretch of course, into a protected area, make it a nice resort, then we can extend it beyond. But within that time, there's going to be a World Toilet Day quiz for everybody to know the importance of toilets and its use. That is one aspect. And then we are going to actually find out how many new toilets have been added to the already existing one, because since 2013, the sanitation coverage for Ghana had been only 15%. It's only increased by 1%. It used to be 14 and it jumped to 15% in about 4 years, which is not impressive. And whatever you cannot measure, you can't account for. So you, instead of having politicians with nice suit and tie, come with fancy ideas and then go for conferences, at the end of the day, papers are produced by tertiary institutions talking about how things should be done, but at the ground level,
it's not being done.
It is not being done. And we cannot blame them because we put them there. And you and I are also part of the problem. So we now want to find out how many new toilets have been added to the already existing one this year, so that everybody will know that, no, we should do something about it. Aside that, we want to add value to the waste that we are generating, because like offices like this, if I go to the ministries and I'm even looking for T-roll, I can't find it. But they print a lot of papers and they trash it. So we've come with a waste segregation model where you can actually gather the papers. We come for it, we send it to fine print, and then they turn it to T-roll. Then you can use it again. Could you believe that we were able to do this when Accra Technical University used their newspapers? We sent it to fine print, and then we brought a T-roll back, and that was used to support the Ghana Garden and Flower Show. So there is value in all the waste that we are generating. As I'm talking to you now, TMA is going to fund an inventor who is composting with lorry ties, so that by the time they vacate in 19th December, they would have taken the technology, and then Tema will stop sending the organic waste to the landfill, because we only have one landfill in Tema that Accra is depending on. So if we do this, and Tema itself has taken the lead with the mayor taking the lead, then it means that Accra will be forced not to bring their
waste.
No, they will bring your waste, but it will be minimum, because we are going to get manure from the compost. So you are not going to bring your waste classes together. We are turning the plastics into pavement blocks. It is done in Ashama by Neoplast.
So it's, John, you mentioned something about the plastics, like he was saying. So there's plans for the plastics that are Accra seems to be swallowed, in your words.
Right. Excuse me. Right. So I think Malik has hit on a really key part of this solution to the problem, and that's waste separation, which I think we've done in the United States for quite a while. It does reduce the amount of waste that goes into a landfill. It extends the life of the landfill, and there is a lot of value you can draw out of those plastics if you have the capacity to recycle them in a market, to take the product that gets recycled and put it into something else. So. And I think, and what Malik is doing is great, because education is the key. People need to know that there is value to separating your waste, not just throwing it all together, and that what that means at the end of that cycle, where you do have more space in your landfills for the waste that has to go there. So, but Malik does great work, because he's done some video work that you have to go online and see what he's done to generate awareness of the problem and of the solutions too. So.
Okay. This is really great. I think it's a very great initiative, and I hope it continues. I mean, it continues. It doesn't just end after the World Toilet Day and all that.
But if you say you hope it continues, that is a very good word. But to back that one, we have created a toilet list. We've categorized Ghanaians into 18 sectors. Where even the media, everybody has a role to play. I will not use this opportunity to espouse much about this, but we can find it online. That we've created a toilet list that includes everybody and what everybody should do. So we've moved beyond the hope, which comes with education, enforcement, and equipment. Unfortunately, even Zoom Lion is supporting the mayor of Tema to do that. So we have moved beyond hope and talk shows to enforcement. This is the level it has gotten to, that everybody needs to be part of.
Okay. So when exactly is World Toilet Day?
World Toilet Day is 19th November.
19th November. All right.
So that day is when we'll start the World Toilet Quiz, and then extend it to 19th December. By that time, the students have vacated, and then they would have gotten the knowledge of how to use the lorry tie to compost, so that when they come home, they'll be ambassadors of change. They would have learned something that everybody will
so give us your last words and encourage people to be part of.
Yes, I would like to say that I thank the His Excellency I Am Walker for taking the lead to do a charity cycling. I would want Ghanaians to model from that so that we can all help keep our environment clean. At least if everybody handles his waste like the civil servant salary, none will be left on the floor. So I wish that we all take a coup from that and then manage our waste responsibly. Thank you.
All right. Okay. John, would you like to add something?
Sure. I would just support everything that Malik just said. Be aware of the waste that you generate and try to reduce it where you can. Because I think waste reduction is really the long-term solution, not waste. Recycling is important, very important, to help minimize the current impact, but reducing your waste is the key to the long-term solution. So instead of you buying a plastic water bottle every day or so, get a bottle that you can reuse and refill, and that lasts you a lifetime.
All right. Okay, so one more time, Ali, can you tell us when the work is going to start and when it's ending?
Yes, we're starting the work actually tomorrow from the Jamestown Lighthouse. That is 13th November.
Okay.
And it will finish at the Tema Lighthouse, and it will finish at the Jamestown Lighthouse.
All right.
And then the cycling will take place on the 16th, that is this Saturday, from the naval headquarters closer to the Tema naval base to the Jamestown Lighthouse.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Malik and John, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you have it, World Toilet Day, and we need to be careful about how we dispose of our waste. Accra is really indeed, drowning in waste and plastics and all manner of things that, we need to take care of our environment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
So nice to see you. It's fun reading you.